Good morning, everybody. Wanted to do my own little vid here. I have showcased a video related to what was on the chemtrail planes before. I did share one before, but this will be my personal one that I'm doing for the channel. For people who don't believe smart dust is a thing, people don't believe that they're not, like they're just putting vapor out there in the skies, and nah, they're not putting smart dust. Let's take a look at some very questioning, very eyebrow rising photographs taken from the inside of one of these planes. These were photos that were leaked out. They did not want these to be leaked out, but it happened. So anyway, let's just go ahead and check this out. This is on an article. I will leave a link in the description. Anyway, exposed photos from inside chemtrail planes like you've never seen before. This is I guess I don't know, the author or something was Indy N5D. This is October 30th, 2018. So this wasn't that long ago. Awareness, health, and zero comments. So barely anybody's seen this. But never mind. This seems to have like a total of likes of 646. So some people have seen this. At least a total of 646 people have seen this. Anyway, exposed photos from inside chemtrail planes like you never. Yada yada. I've already read that. I received a private message from a friend on Facebook who stated, "Hi Greg, I follow you in 5D websites every day, and I'm thankful there are like-minded people like yourself who are aware of global things that I have known since I was a little girl. I came across some photos from a trusted source of the inside of the planes that are used for chemtrails, and I figured if I pass them on to you, you can help spread more awareness with it on your website. Let me know if this is okay with you. Thanks." When asked if the source would like to elaborate on these photos, I was told, "Unfortunately, my source does not want to be known and would rather remain anonymous. There are very obvious reasons as to why a person would want to remain anonymous from something like this. If you're not aware, target individuals, we're not targeted for just anything, okay? Yeah, we're not targeted we're just for anything, and they will target just about anybody for any specific reason. Most are just targeted even from birth due to them, if you didn't believe they were experimenting on babies, they really are. They would have to be for them to have, test certain genes within them to see, like, who they were going to set the target at an older age or not. Um, that's a prime example. Now, so much of that I haven't really did too much research on it, so I don't know if someone has, and it's just sitting out there on how they have conducted, experimentations on kids. Here's the thing, though. There was an interview that some people who were involved in experimentation on humans actually did admit that they were experimenting on orphan children. They did admit that they were experimenting on many different individuals too. I would love to leave a link in the description. If anybody else knows where that video is, feel free to leave a link to it. In the meantime, if you don't see it on the video yet, it just means I've yet to find it, but I will find it, and when I do, I will leave it for you to check out. I still need to leave the link for that last video I made about that Bill Gates bastard, but that'll come later. Unfortunately, my source does not want to be known and would rather remain anonymous. I'm sure they have some pretty good reasons, and I must respect their wishes. As long as the information gets out there, I think that's the most important thing. I'll send you more photos later on in the day when I have a chance. Thank you. Here's the deal, though. Like, you see people in the photographs, right? So they're gonna realize like who may have been doing that, unless they were just doing demonstrations and there were several people there. I don't know. I don't know. Let's continue. As you can see, it says blast area, stand clear. Blast area. Now we see some tanks there, black tanks in there. Okay. We see even more tanks. All right. We go down a little bit farther. You see that? You go down a little bit farther, you see this. Let's keep going. Warning. Rapture disk area. Okay. Let's keep going. You see that? I don't think they would I don't know. Maybe they would have like heavy tankers for that for like pressure wise. I don't know, but like it gets questionable the farther down you go, you know? And you're gonna see why it gets more questionable. But as you see, those I'm guessing that those are the original tanks for the Vapor. Those are the original tanks right there. See, from this to this. So the stuff that we're seeing now in the photographs, that stuff is not uh, Vapor. That's chemtrails. But the photographs, to where it's saying it's from, that's the containers, for Vapor. Let's continue. See more unusual things on this thing, or plane and aircraft. You see that? You see that now? Come on, man. Vapor doesn't have should never have a particular color to it like that. That's a chemtrail. Let's continue. You're gonna event. I'm pretty certain this website does have the photographs. That says warning rapture disk. And does this internet photo show the interior of a chemtrail plane? You could see. You could just barely see that. Let's zoom in there. You see it point. You'll see them pointing the arrows there. And then it says U.S. It's very hard to read that out. It's very hard to read that out. It really is. But you see more and more telling things in these photographs. You see the stuff that's all circled and squared down on the sides and everything. You see a whole lot more telling things on this. All right, let's continue. Okay. Okay. What now? Okay. Why? If that's not telling, I don't know what is. If it's supposed to be Vapor, why would they have a sign saying chemtrail? Why? If it's supposed to be Vapor, I mean, why would there be a sign that literally says on their machines chemtrail? Can someone please explain that? If it's not if it's not chemtrails, why would they have a sign saying chemtrail on it? Can someone please explain that? Let's continue. This says inside the mega sprayer. Continue. Let's continue. Let's zoom in on here. Don't worry. Again, I will repeat. I will leave a link in the description directly to this website so you can check this out for yourself. See even more stuff in here. These people are doing this and they have no fucking problem doing it. Unbelievable. And you see, it's just like I said, like the people who are there, there's several people there. Their faces aren't even covered. You know, granted, this was taken several years ago. I'm just saying, like, the person who leaked the photographs, well, the person who was there may be involved. They would have to be, unless they got a hold of the photographs of the person who was there taking these pictures, and then it was someone else who spread the stuff out. But anyway, okay, that's a biohazard sign. That's a biohazard sign. What now? Granted, I get it. Like, when it comes to like, I get like pressure can be dangerous, but that's no reason that's not something that you want. That's not something that requires a biohazard sign. You know that doesn't require a biohazard sign. So if this is supposed to just be Vapor, why are there biohazard signs on this plane, on this aircraft? Why is there signs saying chemtrails on it? Huh. Hmm. Very interesting. Funny thing though, like there's actually a lot more photographs than this. These are just a short few, but there are way more photographs than just this. Um, there was some other ones I've seen that just literally had biohazard signs like all over their tanks. It had like all kinds of hazardous biohazard signs all over it. It was insane. Maybe I can get a clearer shot with this. Nope, it's not close enough. I want to see what that top writing on those white tanks say. That's what I really wanted to see. Huh. Anyway, I'm probably gonna have this a two-parter. I'm gonna cut the video out here, then and it's gonna continue on from here. It's gonna have another uh page with this on there. So just bear for that. All right, Public Law 105/85 allows chemtrails and biological weapons testing on civilians without explicit consent. Now, the thing about the other photographs I wanted to show you all, I'm gonna have to find those. I had some trouble looking them up, so I'm gonna have to take some time on tracking them down. Anyway, U.S. allows testing of chemtrails and biological agents on civilian population. Public Law 105/85, which was November 18th, 1997. Use of human subjects for testing of chemical or biological agents. Section 1078. Restrictions on the use of human subjects for testing of chemtrails or biological agents. Prohibited activities. The Secretary of Defense may not conduct directly or by contact any test or experiment involving the use of a chemtrail agent or a biological agent on a civilian population or any other testing of a chemtrail agent or biological agent on human subjects. B. Exceptions subject to subsections C and D and the prohibition in subsections does not apply to a test or experiment carried out for any of the following purposes. Number one, any peaceful purpose that is related to a medical, therapeutic, pharmaceutical, agricultural, industrial, or research activity. Any purpose that is directly related to protection against toxic chemtrails or biological weapons and agents. Wait a minute. Any purpose that is directly related to protection against toxic chemicals or biological weapons and agents. Any law enforcement purposes, including any purpose related to riot control. So Section A prohibits these cruel and inhuman chemical and biological tests on humans. Then Section B says that the prohibition in Section A do not apply to tests carried out for virtually any purpose. So Section B is completely negates the prohibitions of Section A. In other words, the U.S. government can test chemicals and biological agents on humans for nearly any purpose they desire. The following should also be noted. The term biological agent, as stated above in Section A and 1, is defined as defined in Section E as follows. Section E, biological agent defined. In this section, the term biological agent means any microorganism, including bacteria, viruses, fungi, I don't even know how to even pronounce that, Ritisac, or protozoa, pathogen, or infectious substances in any natural occurring bioengineer or synthesized component of any such microorganisms, pathogen, or infectious substances, whatever its origin or method of production, that is capable of causing, number one, death, disease, or other biological malfunctions in a human, an animal, a plant, or another living organism. Section number 2. Section 2. Deterioration of food, water, equipment, supplies, or materials of any kind. Deleterious alterations of the environment. In other words, the U.S. government can test chemtrails and biological agents on humans that cause death, biological malfunction, deleterious alterations of the environment, and the term deleterious alteration of the environment brings chemtrails to mind. Human Chemtrails testing programs currently in operation here. Oh, these links? Hang on. Hang on a minute. Okay. Circle of Life forums welcome. Let's see what we can. You may. We have provided this information to help people become aware of the related coined as chemtrails. Chemtrails are aerosol plumes emitted from silver or white unmarked jets. Some are long and others are short, but they eventually accumulate and spread out to cover large areas of the sky or descend in a mockery streamer below are several pictures of typical chemtrails. Okay, that's just to give you where is this happening? United States, Canada, England, Scotland, Germany, Norway, New Zealand, Australia, China. What do chemtrails contain? Aluminum, magnesium, barium and barium salts, lead, arsenic, uranium, sharp titanium shards, mercury, mold spores, mycoplasma, and unidentified bacteria. You want to know what that unidentified bacteria is? That's the mixture between both the smart dust and the Morgellons. If you want to know what the Morgellons is, it's a mixture of two based hard to kill fungi. One of them, I believe, is I think it was Candida, and I think the other one was Lyme disease, but I'm not sure. It was either Candida. I know one of them is Candida, but then there's another one, right? There's another form in there that's forming it to make Morgellons. The only thing is, like, because of this stuff being insect based, and like when you have stuff like this, you're gonna get Lyme disease from this. That's just a given from being exposed to such a thing. Mercury. See, do chemtrails contain mercury? Mercury is the most toxic non-radioactive metal known. Mercury accumulates in the body and causes a eventually lead wait causes a eventually leading to chronic watchdog. Okay, is toxic to humans and animals and causes a dramatic drop in potassium levels. That's why you got to drink. You definitely got to put baking soda in your water to Wait, no. That's pH levels. My bad. That's pH levels, not potassium levels in the body. For this reason and others, barium is known to considerably increase the frequency of heart attacks in persons 65 years and older. Aluminum. Aluminum is a toxic to humans and animal life. Of particular concern is the fact that most people in industrialized countries have considered exposure to mercury through amalgam fillings, coal burning, power plants, tattoos, and seafood. What is concerning about the aluminum exposure is that when mercury and aluminum combine in the body, they combine toxicity. It's about 100 times than that of either substances alone. Sharp titanium shards. Under a microscope, chemtrails are seen as extremely sharp, fibrous shards that embed themselves into lung tissue and break down the bacterial viral resistant properties of the lining that separate the air from the blood. This is concerning to those. If you're wondering what that noise is, that's basically the gang stalkers. It's not people just randomly going out. That'd be different. No, these are people doing the little noise campaign because they do not want you to know this information. Those who anticipate a flu pandemic because this attributes of chemtrails will likely dramatically increase the communicable of the virus health effects. Chemtrails are now commonly associated with many illnesses. A number of credible reports has demonstrated that respiratory related illnesses increase dramatically in the presence of chemtrails. Symptoms that have been commonly associated with exposure to chemtrails include sinus pain, headaches, fatigue, tinnitus. TIs, are you fellow TIs out there? Are you seeing this? Tinnitus, muscle aches, pain, which is why I recommended people to get the copper, the copper condensed clothing, or should I say copper compressed clothing, and that actually will help you with that, with the muscle and joint pain. Salty or salted metallic taste in their
air or on the lips, itchy skin, nausea, eye floaters, dark circle under the eyes, brain fog, irritability, other malicious symptoms. Certain types of chemtrails have been associated with flu-like symptoms. Certain types of chemtrails have been associated with flu-like symptoms, particularly chemtrails that leave visible fibrous deposits on cars and on other hard surfaces. Chemtrail origins: the non-dissipating chemtrails persist and spread out as they descend. Newer chemtrails types disappear within a few seconds. Governments are producing disinformation to attempt to convince the public that short, non-persistent chemtrails or contrails, but nothing could be further from the truth. Okay, everyone. I'm gonna leave a link to this too. You'll be able to check this out for yourself. Because there's like a lot of links in here, and I don't think I have enough, time to really go through all of this. But I'm going through as much as I can. So if this video cuts out, remember this will just be part 1, and I'll post part 2 shortly. Consent. It is known that that a public law in the United States allows the testing of chemtrails and biologics on American citizens with their consent. Citizens with their consent. Concerns arises when we realize that the true meaning of consent in this context. Consent can be considered to be a condition that exists within both parties have acknowledged of the terms of an agreement and neither party openly objects to it. Uniform Commercial Code UCC, because this law is public or available for review, publicity, it is assumed that the public is acquiescing to, I hope I pronounced that right, to agreeing to activity stated in the law under the UCC. This is why it is often said ignorance of law is no excuse. If it is published, it is assumed that you are aware of it. If you're aware of it and you don't openly object, you are agreeing to it. You have consented. This is why we need everyone to openly, literally say, quit fucking spraying the chemtrails out there. So they're making the assumption based off of this that you're okay with them putting that stuff out there, but you can just as well tell them to stop. But they don't want you to know that. They hire people to confuse you, to make you not know that, Hence them putting disinformation out there. Hence, anybody, who would talk about this and go as far as to really spread knowledge about it. Oh, no, that person's a conspiracy theorist. Oh, no, that person's just mentally ill. Oh, no, they're going to come out with all kinds of stupid stuff out of their ass. And it's the common game that they play. Every person who is telling you the truth is called a conspiracy theorist. Every person who is telling you the truth is called mentally ill. Why are these people doing this? Because they're being paid off. They wouldn't be doing it otherwise. They wouldn't be going searching for targeted individuals' channels, talking all kinds of crap. They wouldn't be doing that unless they are paid off. I've literally demonstrated that several times, and it's no point in me even going back into that because I already proved my point. Anyway, health solutions. After doing some research, we decided to attempt to use natural supplements dealing with what we believe is at the core of these symptoms: mercury, barium, aluminum, and mycoplasma, a type of bacteria. We have found that the following supplements are helped considerably in reducing the symptoms associated with chemtrails. Okay, everybody, get your pens and paper ready because you're going to want to write this down, but there will be a link in the description. Fatigue kills mycoplasma. Yeast, fungal detox, summa combination. Fatigue, Chesley aluminum, fibromyalgia, fatigue, support for the thyroid gland and adrenal glands, thyroid support, adrenal support, joint health. Okay, you know what? Yep. Okay, good. So it is really naming it off because I see Colloidal Silver at the bottom. Boost immune system activity, nature's immune stimulator. General protection kills biologics, including bacteria and mold. Colloidal Silver, which I just so happen to have a bottle of. But man, 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 that is good. Definitely write this down. Definitely write this down. This was definitely the right time for me to do this. Get involved. Chemtrails are very real and contains known toxins. The purpose of the aerosol injection programs that produce chemtrails is currently under debate, but regardless of their intent function, the terrible health effects on humans and animals is already taking its toll. We hope you will get involved in exposing the aerosol crimes that are occurring over our heads and are funded by our own tax dollars. Now, this is what I'm saying when it's funded by the deep state. The deep state and the dark state is basically just using taxpayer dollars to pay for this bullshit to be passed by. Class action lawsuit. On Friday, October 7, 2006, Geoengineering and Legal Alliance to Stop Geoengineering, LASG, carried out a simple survey that involved 118 climate scientists and experts. The survey message headline sent to the scientists experts was titled Legal Alliance to Stop Geoengineering Survey. Click link below for more information, resources, yada yada. Now, I don't, like I said, I don't have like a lot of time to really do this. Let me just okay, I think I read through this, didn't I? Okay. Oh, I didn't finish it. I didn't finish. Okay, so let's just finish this. Informant consent. Some argue that none of this activity can be conducted without informed consent, as stated in Section C, which reads, informed consent required. The Secretary of Defense may conduct a test or experiment described in Section B. Only informed consent to the testing was obtained from each human subject in advance of the testing on that subject, although Section C seems to provide some protection for us in that it requires us to be notified in advance. If this testing is to take place in reality, it does not provide any protection at all. Why not? Because you've already been informed in advance and you've already been given your consent. Because the law is publicly available for everyone to read, you have been informed because you have not contested it. That's what the courts are for. You have provided your consent. This law, so basically when you are not saying anything, you are providing consent. A form of silence is a form of consent. But now when you're talking to the police, it's different. When they're trying to question you and all this stuff, you could say that, I have the right to remain silent. That doesn't mean you're giving consent, right? It doesn't mean you're giving consent because if you were to state, your case on certain things, and then, say you're gonna remain your silence, they can't do anything to you. They can't. They can continue to try to say that, try to question. But I don't know. Maybe you can say like, I'm just not answering more questions. You could say it like that. So each time they trying to, repeatedly asking the question of you, you get to say, I'm not answering no more questions. You could just say that. So just to be safe. Anyway, because this law is publicly available for everyone to read, you have been informed because you have not contested it. That's what the courts are for. You have provided your consent. This law is part of a contract between you and the government. When the terms of a contract are known and uncontested, it's called acquiescence, or acquiescence essentially means that both parties are in agreement. Acquiescence submit or comply silently or without protest. So when the law was published, you were informed because you have not challenged it in court. You have consented. By your own inaction, you have said, sure, go ahead and poison me, even if it causes death. I have no problem with it. Because this contract meets the judicial requirements of remedy and recourse, it is legally binding. Judges like to say ignorance of the law is no excuse. They say this because you are expected to know all of the law because it is publicly available for you to read. Despite the fact that this is... Hold on, are we still recording? Yes, we're still going. In reality, Section C is legally useless. It does not provide any additional protection. It only seems to Section C, its only purpose for being included in this law is deception, nothing more. Deception, Section C of this law is very deceptive because most people don't understand the concepts of acquiescence in contract law. Therefore, people mistakenly conclude that this testing will never happen to them unless they are informed about it. The powers that be play upon public ignorance by inducing people into having a false sense of security. As a result, the public believes this activity could not be occurring because they believe that they would have personally heard about it. Now, here's my message to the gang stalkers. You're basically working for an organization that is still poisoning you by the day. Even now, you're still being poisoned, and you still fucking go out and eat their poisonous ass food. I've seen it. I've seen them eat and consume fucking and buy fucking high fructose corn syrup products. I've seen them buy that shit. I've seen them drink it. Again, these are so when you see when you see some of these gang stalkers, understand that some of the people they hire have no self-respect for themselves, man. They don't care whether they live or die. They just want to indulge themselves in their addictions. That's it. That is it. They fight if they see a get off free card, they're gonna take it. That's just the cold hearted truth about this. They don't care. They just don't. And honestly, for my safety and for the safety of everyone else, I stop caring about what the fuck they're doing, and I just move on. I don't let their bullshit stop me. I don't let their bullshit get a hold of me or anything like that, man. I don't do that. No. They're gonna try to act out. You wanna know what I do? I just walk away. That's precisely what the fuck I do. I just walk away. Ignore it, move on, get what I need done, and then I'm gone. That's it. Okay, let's continue this before I run out of time on this video feed. This false belief then provides insurance that this law it will never be contested in court, and as long as this law remains uncontested, chemtrail spraying will continue unhindered. The final result is that this crafty written law has done its job. It has enabled chemtrail spraying to continue without being contested in court. Additionally, this law continually provides legal protection for those doing the spraying. After all, by your inaction, you have been given them your permission. When you consider the incredibly dark nature of this deception, and when you consider the fact that this law gives your public servants the self-appointed power to kill you, you should then consider what kind of people are running your country, or the world for that matter. All right, well, that's it. Let me go ahead and copy that so you all can check that out. Anyway, please spread the word about this. Remember, the article is 108/85/1997. You have to include the date on there, 1997. I'll leave a link here. Please share this article around. Please let people know so this stuff can be contested, so this shit can be stopped. Because that's basically that's why it's still happening. Because people are just ignorant of how to stop it. But seeing as there is a way to stop it, it means we can say, no, we're not agreeing to this. We don't want that shit out there. We want you to stop flying these planes and spraying that and poisoning us. We want you to stop this. We don't consent to this, because I sure as hell don't consent to being poisoned. And I want people to understand there's one thing that said that in the article that said it prohibits from poisoning. What do you think these gang stalkers have been lacing on our food? What do you think they have been lacing on our doorknobs? I guarantee you that shit is smart dust, and I guarantee you that same smart dust is in the chemtrails. I guarantee that. I guarantee it. Anyway, stay safe, stay strong. I hope all other fellow TIs are doing well out there, minus the targeting. Any other truth activists, please continue doing the great work that you're doing. I also wanted to thank all my fellow subscribers on both my channels. Honestly, when I first got targeted, man, it seemed like this world was really just dark. It literally felt like hell itself, like hell on earth. When I first got targeted by this organization, when all this stuff first started happening, it put me in a very, very dark place. I actually almost lost myself there. Soon as I started reaching out to other fellow TIs, people who were going through the same thing I was going through, it helped me, elevate myself to who I truly am, not to the fake me, but to the real me. But understand, everybody, even now, people are being manipulated. So you've seen the evidence there, as I've just shown you, that people are being experimented on. There are stuff going on out there.
And there are laws to prevent it, but at the same time, there's a lot of deception within these laws. There's a lot of stuff, the trickery that they got, and where they can get away with it legally. Why do you think these people don't want to be sued if the vaccinations kill people? Why wouldn't they want to be sued? You ever think about that? The fact that they would not want to be sued is already telling you that there's definitely something more to this shit that they're trying desperately to get you to inject into yourself. For the safety of both yourself and your family, don't get vaccinated. Don't. To the people who are pro-vax, understand that the stuff that you learned was systematically constructed for you to learn. But it doesn't mean that what you've learned is for the greater good. Okay? I'm just saying it how it is. Understand that both the education systems, the government systems, all kinds of systems out there that is designed to protect us, educate us, and help us have been constructed in a way to destroy us. That's what they've been doing. Please do this. Dig into some more research on the other side of things that you keep saying, well, no, I'm not just going to touch on that stuff. No, open your fucking mind and start looking through this shit and really start get an even better understanding of both sides of this. Because if you're just, backing one side of this, I mean, I can't trust you. And what I'm saying is that if people can't, if I can't even trust you, and I'm speaking from my own perspective on this, how do you think you think anybody else is going to trust you? Come on now. Now, I'm not calling you a bad person, nothing like that, but just do the research. If you don't want people taking the COVID vaccinations, I understand that, but if you're saying you're pro-vax, you're still working for the opposition. So all I'm asking you is just a simple thing. Take some time out of your day and look this stuff up on both sides. That's it. It's just as simple as just getting off your ass and really looking far into it. It's just that simple. It's not hard. Anyway, stay safe, stay strong, everybody. Remember, stay awake.